Hello everyone, this is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. So I'm going to share with you making a tag, and I have to tell you, I haven't made one before, so we're going to be playing with this and learning together. If you enjoy tutorials on card making and paper crafting, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button down below and be a part of my crafting family. Don't forget to ring the bell so you get notifications of future videos. So let's go ahead and dive in. What I have done is I have just kind of picked some items out, and I'm doing this as part of a swap. So that's why I decided to make a tag, and I thought, gosh, I don't know why I've never made one before, but we're gonna have a little fun here. So I thought I'd pick some things. I picked a bunch of stuff from one of the new stamp sets and suites from Stampin' Up, and I love this this cling stamp set, Beautiful World, and I haven't got it out to play with it yet. So I thought that the sentiment, Life's a Beautiful Journey, was fun. So I think that's the one I'm going to use, although a couple of these others would be fun as well. Then I also brought in the silhouette scenes just because I like these images there, and may put those in, we'll see. Some Distress Oxides, and this is kind of the way when I'm creating, I'll just get a few inspiration items together and see what I want to use. So I got some Distress Oxides. The papers that I picked are in these browns and coppers, and I thought bringing a little green in there would be good so it isn't, you know, all so monotone and get boring. I did go ahead and take a piece of the vanilla cardstock at 2.5 by 6 and went ahead and cut that down for a base to start with. I pulled some ribbon pieces from my stash as well as this twine. I've brought in a angle corner chomper that we're going to use on those angles. I decided to pull out some gold embossing powder. Now these are more of a bronze, the colors in this. Oh, and I did pull this gorgeous bronze foiled paper to pull in some of that, more of that bronze color. But I thought, you know, the gold would be, I think, work well enough with that. If I want to add some embossing on there. So we're just going to have a little bit of a play and see what I come up with. So one of the things that I know I want to do is I want to create texture and layering and just adding things on top of each other. So some of it may end up getting hidden by the time I'm done and others won't, but let's go ahead and find a scrap piece of paper. I should have grabbed one of those. I will be right back. All right, because I know I'm probably going to be stamping off the sides on some of these things, and want to make sure that I'm not getting my mat all dirty. So we're going to do some tearing, some ripping, and lots of layering. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to use the large side. If you haven't used one of these before, they're fun for creating an angle edge, and you have a small and a large angle. And I'm going to use the large angle. You just stick that in there, and if you wanted to make a bunch of tags all at once. So when I say I haven't made tags, I've made gift tags, but not just a tag for fun, for decorative use and for swaps. So that's a little different to me, doing that kind of tag. But if you're doing a bunch of gift tags, you can chomp a whole bunch of corners all at one time. So I'm going to use my Distress Oxides also as my stamping ink for my images as well. And I haven't used this set yet, so I haven't even put my little cling sticky labels on there, but this is going to stick well enough for what I'm doing. I won't make you guys watch me do those on camera here. Let's go ahead and get our vintage photo, and like I said, some of this is going to end up being covered up, but that's okay. I'd rather have things behind there that I don't need when I start layering my paper than have it be empty, if that makes sense. And let's bring in this little compass, and I think I'm gonna do that in the peeled paint. Again, just filling things in. I am not caring if these, in fact, I kind of want them to be a little like this one, not full images, because I'm going for more of that distressed look. So it's quick and simple on the stamping side. While I've got my oxides out, let's go ahead and just take that vintage photo, and this is a new pad, so I'm gonna just go around, all the way around the edges on this tag here. Really fill that in. So let me know if you enjoy making tags, and I'm kind of bringing some of that in over the top too for a vintage look, not just on the sides. Let me know if you enjoy making tags, if you're part of any swaps that you participate in on a regular basis. I'd love to hear about your guys' experiences, and feel free to jump on over to my Facebook group, Paper Stamp Inkers. I have a page, Paper Stamp Ink, and then I have a group, Paper Stamp Inkers, where you guys can post your own creations, and we share and inspire each other, and it's a new and growing group, so I'd love to have you guys come over and be a part of that. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of this down, or you know what, actually I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the rip with this, and I'm gonna bring this down one side, and let's go ahead and rip that. I think I want to have more of the white edge showing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of additional ripping there, and then come in with my vintage photo again and distress that edge. That stark white is definitely not something that I want on this tag. So let's go ahead and get that adhered down. Use my liquid glue as usual. I'm going to stick that right down in this corner. All right, I'm liking that already. That's kind of fun. I should have done these more often in the past. So I'm going to do another piece that I think I want to kind of come down on an angle there. So let me cut some of this so it's not working with such a huge bulky piece here. I'm just going to cut that at about 3 inches down and 6 inches. So I have plenty to work with, and this has got some like script look on it, but honestly it's kind of so faded that I don't even think you could tell which way is the top or the bottom, so that's kind of nice. And let's bring in the gathered twigs just to get a little, these are fairly close colors, but just to get a little bit of a different brown in there. So I don't know how much they're really gonna appear different on that. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink up all the edges of this. There's just something satisfying about running that distressed ink around the edges. So I'm gonna layer that on top of here. So we're just building and building up layer after layer on this tag. All right, so I've lost a bunch of my images, so I'm going to come back in here and do some more stamping. fill in some of that. Let's come on down here. And let's see, I don't quite like how this, rip that. I don't like how it ended up there at the top. A little too uniform for me. So we're going to do a little bit more ripping on that. It's the freedom of distressing. The more you rip and the more you play with it, it all just kind of fits in okay. All right, let's see what else I've got here. I've got some of this beautiful copper trim that I think I want to use to mat our sentiment. So I'm going to just cut a strip of this down, and I am going to use a scrap piece that I've got of that vanilla to come in, and I think I am going to, yeah, I think the Life's a Beautiful Journey. I think I'm going to stick with that one. Peel this off. You can't have enough blocks. I think I love to have lots of acrylic blocks so I don't have to keep taking my sentiments off. And I think I might, let's see, we're gonna do some stamping on the background of this, and just kind of coming in and stamping that off a little, because I'm going to bring in that embossing powder and emboss my sentiment on here. And my powder, just to de-stickify, is that a word? To de-stickify that. And let's see, when you don't have the stickers on, it's hard to know which way's up and which way's down. So I'm gonna put that right in there. Life's a Beautiful Journey, and I love to use coffee filters to hold do my embossing powder over, cover up this embossing pad. Don't want to get my embossing powders on there by mistake. And I'm just gonna pour a bunch of that on there, and I just love that it's so easy to pour it back in with these. All right. And we're gonna bring our heat tool, and this is gonna get a little loud, so I'm gonna shout at you guys here. I just love the magic of embossing, of dry embossing and wet embossing. They both add so much to your cards, but we're talking about the wet embossing. If you haven't ever done this, it's so much fun. You just take a little bit to heat that up, and all of a sudden you're gonna see, do you see that journey? It's just that powder is gonna melt, and you're gonna all of a sudden get this beautiful shine. There you go. See the difference in those? I just love it. It's like magic. It's magic. Tweezers are handy. I don't have mine handy. Tweezers are good to keep your fingers from getting a little warm. Whoops. Let me just make sure that I've got that all over on here, and then I'm actually going to do I'm going to add a little bit more. So I'm just kind of going in and adding some splotches, and I don't even care if I have some sticking in other places. And let's see if we can get some of that embossing powder to stick here, and just add some little splotches here and there in the background. And I think that'll add some even more fun to this tag. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gonna be gorgeous. Gorgeous. Move your embossing powder. Lovely as that stuff is, man, if if you get, oh my goodness, and I almost didn't cover my pot there. If you get that heater, the heat gun on there, the heat tool, it is going to go all over. And man, you're going to be finding those little powders for days afterwards, even when you think you've got them all cleaned up. Now, if you do have a mess with that stuff, I love to use a little, these are like makeup pads. Let me get one of those out and show you what I use. These little like cotton things. They're great for picking up that excess embossing powder or glitter. Glitter's another one of those things that just gets everywhere and never wants to go away. Alright. I'm liking that look. I'm liking it. It's so much fun. Adding that gorgeous gold in there along with the copper tones that we're going to have from that designer series paper. So the paper I'm using is part of the same suite as the stamp set, and it's, I think, great for some masculine cards because the colors just work so well that anybody will enjoy them. Let's see, I think I want to get a little bit more up here because I feel like it's just kind of a little plain up around the top. So let's add just a tad more of that embossing powder there. Oh, and look, see what I did? Oh, Michelle. So we're just going to wipe that up. And these work, like I said, they work so great for little bits, but let me tell you, if you blow that whole thing over your table, you're not going to get it up for a while. I do know that from personal experience, in case you're wondering. Learn from my mistakes. All right, get that out of the way. And we're just going to do a little bit more heat setting. Sorry for the noise. It gets a little loud. Let me know down below if you've been inspired to make your own tags. I think these would make wonderful gifts as well. And we want to kind of continue our distressing here. So I'm going to bring back in some of this to distress the edges here. And, you know, go over the top, go over the sides. Distressing, you can be messy. Isn't that fun? All right, I think I'm gonna do some tearing on this just to make it kind of match the rest of the card with that look, but I'm gonna leave these edges since it's lining up with the same width as my tag. So I can't remember this. I can't remember. I think I told you how wide this is, guys, but it's and I'm not sure if I gave you the correct dimensions at the beginning. I think I might have said 3 by 6, but it's 2 3/4 by 6. So if I didn't get that right in the beginning, I apologize, but I want to go ahead and clarify that. So I'm just going to use a little strip of this, I think, peeking out. Let's see how that looks. So I'm going to cut it down to the 2 3/4, and before I adhere it down, let's just kind of maybe a little bit of that peeking out. I think I like that. I think I might add a little bit of ink on that too, just to tone down that just slightly. And then I'm gonna wipe a little bit of this off here because I don't want it quite that dull. So I'm gonna do a little rubbing. There we go. I like it. All right, let's glue this on, and we're almost done making this tag. How easy was that? Just grab some coordinating products and have fun with it. You know, there's no right or wrong with this, so you can just enjoy the process and let your mind wander, relax from a crazy day. Hope you guys have had a blessed day. Let's see, I'm going to bring this in, and I think this is poking a little bit off the edge there. So let's grab, well, I don't have my scissors. My little scissors wandered off, so that's why I love having this mat and this finger blade here. I'm just going to come in and trim that down right along the edge there. Very handy to have. I do have this in my favorite supplies. I have a link to my Amazon store in the description, and when you purchase things from there, it doesn't cost you anything, but I do get a small commission from Amazon and my other affiliate links when they're on my page. I sure appreciate you guys using those. It helps me out to be able to share more products with you guys and more inspiration. So every one of those is a blessing, and I do appreciate you watching as well, because it would not be fun to just be here talking to myself. Well, I kind of am, because, you know, there's no interaction. So please leave comments. Helps me know you guys are out there and not talking to an empty room. Okay, let's see. We're going to bring in some of these ribbons, and I think I'm just going to use, yeah, I think I'll just use these two. Bring in a little more of that green. I don't know if I can get these both through at the same time. We'll see. Oh, look at that. It did work. Yay. Let's bring these through my loop. Yeah. And I'm going to have to grab my scissors to cut those, so let me pick that up. I'm a little disorganized tonight, guys. It's been a crazy day, but I wanted to get on here and have a play and get my item out for my swap. And we're just gonna trim these up at an angle. Why am I keep getting a wonky angle there? Let me try one more time. There we go. And just mimic the same angle, but I like to leave them at different lengths. And one more. Now you could decorate up the back as well. I'm just going to leave this empty, but we definitely could go and decorate up the back as well if you wanted to, but I kind of like that. So if the person I'm doing the swap with wants to give this as a gift, or if they maybe want to write some personal notes and use it in a journal, or put photos on it, that there's some place to do that with, still leaving all of this gorgeousness uncovered. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to fuss with this a little bit. I kind of want that green to come in the middle there. Sometimes you just can't stop fussing, right, with your stuff. So if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if there are other things you'd like to see me create. Again, this set and these papers are from Stampin' Up! From the current catalog. I am not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I don't have a link for that. You can find one locally, but I love they all have a plain side and then all this gorgeous foil detail. So it's a specialty paper, and then there's the stamp set, there's some embellishments, there's a embossing folder, so all sorts of fun stuff to go with this kit, and I love when everything coordinates together. Until we meet again, make sure you guys grab your paper, stamp, and ink and do something creative.